Okay, as you can see by the window behind me, we're standing in the bathroom. I have a couple things I need to do today. The first thing is I need to run all of the vents and terminate them to the outside. So I need to do all of the two bathroom vents and then the kitchen hood vent, the range hood. The bathroom vents are 4-inch vents and the kitchen vent is a 6-inch vent. They make a vent kit that you can get with these bathroom exhaust fans, and that's what we have here. So this one is specifically made to terminate out of a wall, and they also have one that terminates off of a roof, which you'll see later. The only thing the kit didn't come with is this foil tape that I'm using just to make sure we have a really good seal around all of the possible openings. That way we're not venting our bathroom humid air into the wall cavity or the ceiling cavity. So now this will be able to slide over that. Once I got the vent cover secure on the outside, I then moved back inside and connected the flexible duct back to it. I thought it was a little weird that they only give you zip ties to connect everything together, so I used some of the foil tape just to make sure that it was nice and secure. And it's about right here that I want to come up. Next, I moved up to the roof to vent the second story bathroom exhaust fan. This is the kit that comes if you're going to vent out of a roof, so the vent cover's a little different on it. But you just do the same thing. That little silver piece screws into the black piece, and then you screw it down, and I used some zip flashing tape just to make sure it was waterproof. Once I got the upstairs bathroom exhaust fan vented, it was on to our range hood. So to vent the range hood, it's a 6-inch vent instead of the 4-inch like the bathroom. And then per our inspector, we have to use a smooth wall pipe for this. So we can't use that corrugated flexible tubing like we did for the bathroom. So it made it just a little bit harder, but it was still pretty easy to do. And then just like the one on the roof, I secured it with screws and waterproofed it with zip tape. And then once I moved inside, it was just a matter of measuring out where the center of our range hood was going to go and then making the pipe length that length. We then added a 90-degree onto the end so we could come out of the drywall. The range hood itself has a flexible vent that will hook into this smooth wall vent, and we'll just do that simply with the tape and probably some screws. Okay, so as you can see, we are in the crawl space. This is the gas line. This is going to come in from the outside using this little adapter. We're going to have poly underground piping outside for a gas line, and then inside it's all flexible stainless steel. And so we have this one that hasn't been hooked up yet. This is going to go to our water heater, which the valve for that is literally right above me. We are going to add in something because this is going to go to the upstairs bathroom. The reason this goes to the upstairs bathroom is because we're going to have a incinerating toilet upstairs eventually. So this will feed the propane for the incinerator toilet. Okay, so that's on. I know I haven't shown a lot of installing the gas line, but this is one of the things that we needed to finish before we could have drywall put in. I'm not super qualified to be installing gas line into a house, but the HomeFlex system makes it pretty easy. You just use a series of compression fittings to make what you need. So when you terminate the gas line out to the valve, those are all compression fittings. And then anywhere you have a T, you just use a normal black iron T and screw in the brass compression fittings for the gas line. So after cutting the pipe, you take this little brass ring and put it around the first notch in the tubing, and then you use just some channel locks or pliers to crimp it around there. This blocks that other brass nut that you see from coming off, and this will actually pull that piece of tubing into the fitting, and there's a little O-ring on the inside of that brass fitting that it compresses onto that makes the seal. I know that was kind of long-winded, but it's pretty much that easy all the way around. You just have to find the specific fitting that you need. So there's one.
You want to just put the extension cord outside?
Yeah, it's gotta go outside, if that's what you said.
It is.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is put 2 lines of glue up this back, down the front, up the back, down the front on both sides. And then we're going to stick this on. We're gonna do one side and then the other. We're gonna stick this on, line it up, press it in real good. Hold it there for a minute until it sets. Hold on, let go. We're sorry. Okay, go ahead. Go all the way to that side. Just gotta go all the way back, hon. Stop. Yeah, perfect. And now, just hold these together. Grab some nails, too.
Oh my God. Get it in.
We're putting it inside. 1, 2, 3. My side's in, is your side in? Is it hitting or is it setting?
It's in.
Okay, I got it. Go inside. How far?
Not.
Oh, chest! God, I feel like you pulled it. Okay, go. Jesus. The last major thing we had to do before we could get drywall hung is install our doors. We had to install this front door that you're seeing here, and then also the back patio door, which is going to be a double French door. I didn't record installing that one, but the process is virtually the same. We started out with a sill pan, which you can have sill pans made to the exact dimension of what your sill is. However, you can also just buy adjustable sill pans. Like as you saw, you just glue them to the correct dimension and they fit perfectly. We taped under that sill pan, put the sill pan in, and then taping down the sides of the zip tape went over and overlapped that sill pan. That way any water that does get back in there will run once again into the sill pan. So once we got the door in place, it was just a lot of putting shims and screws in and trying to get it to shut perfectly. One thing we kind of figured out with these doors are the weather stripping around the door is pretty tough and pretty robust. So even when the jamb and the door are perfectly plumb, the amount of pushback you get from the weather stripping makes it feel like something's off. So we do have to close the doors a little harder, but it's not something that can be adjusted out. It's literally just the door pushing against the weather stripping, which is good for energy and not getting water and wind in, but it just makes the doors feel a little weird, but you can get over it, and they do still close pretty easily. So we got done with most of our insulation. We got done with enough insulation that we can get drywall in here. And then before we drywalled, we had to go around and add blocking at all the corners and all the edges of the drywall. So we did all that. I didn't show you that because it was really boring and kind of tedious. So we did all that the last couple days, and now we are ready for drywall, which is super exciting. So next time you see the inside of this, hopefully it looks a lot different than this. Okay, so it looks a lot different in here, and that's because our drywall is done. It's textured and everything. I do want to point out we did not texture this back wall, and that's just because we're putting all shiplap on this wall and it doesn't need to be textured, so we're leaving texture off of that. I know you're probably going to say, what if you don't like the shiplap? It's staying. So this wall won't be textured, but everything else, the ceiling, everything's textured and done with. It looks great. Into this bedroom, we're going to have a sliding barn door, so the inside of this doorway is finished. So something to point out, this is our mudroom. Stacked washer and dryers are going to go right here. That pipe, we're going to put a cabinet. We're actually going to build a cabinet around it. It was just easier to get that pipe from the toilet through there without drilling a hole through that top plate. So we just went with that. So we're going to build a cabinet around that so you won't be able to see that, and we'll get some storage up top. And then it's kind of hard to see because it's dark. This is all some sort of waterproof treatment on this drywall. It's behind our tubs and showers. We are going to go ahead and probably use Schluter systems to waterproof this entire wall and the floor where we're going to have our tub and where all our tile is. So that will get an extra layer of waterproofing. And then it did get textured around towards the top because a lot of people leave the tops open. Our tile is going to go all the way up to the top of the wall, so we don't need all that textured up there. But we'll go ahead and just leave it, and then this obviously will get tile as well. We may have gotten the pieces for our staircase in, so that's coming up. We're gonna paint first though. And then up here, once again, closet's gonna be a barn door. They did not cut out our hatch, but that's okay. We'll just take a drywall saw to it, cut it out, because we're gonna trim it out with trim anyways. So we'll have to cut out right here our hatch for the attic. And then once again, our shower has all this waterproof stuff on it that will waterproof further. And then our toilet, the little spot for our toilet and this nice wall. God, we are so excited. It's happening. Today, tomorrow, we're going to pick up a bunch of paint. So we'll start priming everything and then getting everything painted. And then we'll get the shiplap sometime too. And then we'll order all of our stuff finish our water system and the filters. All the conduit got ran, so I'm waiting for them to pull the power to finish that video. And then you'll see all that. And then we'll have power, we'll have water. Everything will be painted. It'll be great. We'll just have to move in next. Now we'll need to finish at least one bathroom and then probably put cabinets in the kitchen and then we'll move in. But we're pretty close. Oh, and septic system. Hasn't started yet. Probably next week or the week after. Oh, crazy. Wow, that's really orange. They did not cut out our little hatch. Oh, focus. We did not cut our... Oh, God, didn't like that. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like button if you did enjoy the video. Also, leave any questions you have in the comments below, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to our channel already. And if you have, make sure that little bell icon next to the subscribe button is clicked so you get notified of all our new videos. We have some good videos coming up about our power and about the water system, so stay tuned for those.